Raider Nation, what's going on? Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports. If I miss any of your question on today's mailbag, remember you can always hit me up on Instagram. Give me a follow at Mitchell Renz 365 and ask away. Now, when we go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, we do mailbags. This is an opportunity for you guys to ask me some questions and for me to break down what y'all are thinking. This first one's coming in. Shout out to Dylan Erickson. Keep Gus and Bisaccia for one more year. Get a new OC. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. Rich, I believe, has earned one full year. I actually don't disagree with this statement whatsoever. It just really comes down to who helps you get better. If Jim Harbaugh says, hey, I want to be the head coach, and Rich Bisaccia says, you know what, I'm okay going back to being the special teams coordinator, but also name me assistant head coach and then divvy up some of the power, that I'm okay with. But I agree. I think Gus Bradley has deserved it. I think Rich Bisaccia has earned it. Those guys have done a phenomenal job. Absolutely got to get a new OC because Greg Olsen, he just ain't it. And you're right. It's how you finish, not how you start. Let's go to Can't Walks, my dude right here. Give Mayock one more year without Gruden, Raiders. Here's my other thing. If you're going to keep Mike Mayock, you should also keep Rich Bisaccia. You should also keep Gus Bradley because there's no scenario in my mind where I'm like, how is it fair that you're keeping Mayock and you're not keeping these other guys? So I agree with you that if you keep Mayock, I would like to see what he can do without Gruden because I really, truly believe Gruden was the reason why we had a lot of bad draft picks. Gruden was the reason he just had way, way too much control, which is another reason why I am kind of afraid bringing in one of these big-name head coaches because if you bring in a big-name head coach, they want a lot of power, and right now the Raiders are divvying up power, and wouldn't you know it, when you have a bunch of minds thinking, a democracy, it actually works a lot better than, a dictatorship. Let's go to Jose Delgado. What up, brother? Mitch, if RB take the Raiders to the playoffs, so Rich Bisaccia take the Raiders to the playoffs in the Super Bowl, but Raiders lost, do you think the Raiders keep him as head coach and don't get John Harbaugh? I'll say this. If the Raiders decided to keep Rich Bisaccia as it stands right now, I would not be surprised. If the Raiders win on Saturday against the Bengals, I would probably go ahead and say it's almost 3 no Chucky heads that they keep Bisaccia. The only way that they don't keep Bisaccia as the head coach is if Mark Davis says, hey, Rich, we're going to give you a head coach type of money, but then we're going to make you the special teams coordinator, assistant head coach, and then you're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in a big head coach guy like Harbaugh or one of these other dudes, but you still are going to have some voting power. That's really how I think the only way because he absolutely deserves it. You win your final 4 games. Basically, all 4 of those games were playoff caliber, in my opinion. And then you win a playoff game on the road in Cincinnati when you're almost a touchdown underdog. Yeah, the coaching staff deserves a lot of credit. Alex Herbivore saw something that Mike Tomlin and Sean Payton might leave. Who would be a better head coach for the Raiders? Pretty interesting question here. I think Mike Tomlin would actually be the better head coach because Mike Tomlin in 15 seasons has never had a losing season. That's incredible. Plus, I think maybe the most incredible thing he ever did was the fact that Antonio Brown played with them for so long and there was really not that much drama around the whole situation. I think Sean Payton would be a phenomenal head coach if the Raiders decided to keep Derek Carr for the long term. That's still obviously up in the air. But if I'm trying to rebuild a team and I want somebody who I really think is going to hold players a lot more accountable in Las Vegas where we've had some trouble, I'm going to put more stock in Tomlin than I would Payton. But Tomlin to me would be an A+ hire. Actually, A++ higher. Sean Payton would only be an A+, but I don't really know if you can go wrong with either of them. So speaking of those 2 head coaches, who do you want as the Raiders' next head coach? Let me know down in the comment section. I know we're going to get a lot of Harbaughs, some Bisaccias. I've even seen a few Gus Bradleys thrown out there. Tomlin, Sean Payton. Let me know who you want to be the next Raiders head coach. This next one's coming in from Guy Blair. Appreciate the super chat, Guy. Hey, where can I get a DC jersey that's an extra large? You can actually get one at chatsports.com/Raiders jersey. That's where you can get one. Chatsports.com/Raiders jersey, and we got a whole bunch of jerseys. It's actually where I got this one right here. Let's go to my man, Power Raider. Hey, Mitch, were you watching the game or are you going to the playoff game? I'm at 50-50 going. So here's the thing. I will never go to another Raiders game probably as long as I live because I am going to do the Raiders report. I'm going to do these watch parties. The amount of people that I've met all around the world, even people in Oakland that were like, I can't afford cable. I can't afford to go to the games. And now, as expensive as the games are in Vegas, I want to be able to be a resource where people can use me to say, hey, even though I can't go to the game, if I can get that game day experience and I can watch this show 100% free, that's what it's all about. So I probably will never go to another Raider game again. But you know what? Sometimes you got to make some sacrifices. And for you guys, I'm willing to do it. Let's go to Max Garcia. Is Deshaun on a snap count? I don't get it, man. I think it's a mix of things. I mean, Zay Jones has played a lot better of late. I was actually pretty impressed by Bryan Edwards. He's a better blocker than Deshaun Jackson. And when you look at these past few games, the Raiders have had some success being able to run the football. Let's face it. If you're going to run the football, I'd rather have Zay, I'd rather have Bryan Edwards out there. And when it comes to Jackson, I mean, Carr and Jackson don't have the chemistry that you see with a lot of the other dudes, and the ability of Carr to throw the ball deep right now. Carr's missed on many, many deep throws in recent weeks. So do I think he's on a snap count? Yes, because the Raiders also want to be able to keep him fresh, because when he is out there on the field and you do have that call for him, you want him to be able to go get the ball deep. He's 35 years old. He's had a lot of injury issues. So is he on a snap count? Yeah, probably. Let's go to Genghis Khan. I'm actually proud of myself that I got that right. How are the Raiders secondary going to stop Chase? It's a great question, but here's the thing. I thought the Raiders did a phenomenal job the last time they played the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow was 20 of 29, a season-low 149 yards. Bradley was mixing a few things up. Now, they got a lot of great skill position players, and they're going to get a few guys even back on top of that. But you do exactly what you did last time, get the hands in the face of Burrow, and realistically just try to lock up some of those receivers, put Casey Hayward on Jamar Chase. I mean, just do what you did last time, because I understand it was 32-13, but the 19 points scored in the fourth quarter was because the defense was gassed. The offense is playing much better now than what it did back in Week 11. This is going to be a much different football game, I'm telling you that right now. Now, to make sure you guys never miss any news or rumors all season long, hit that big red button that says subscribe underneath the video. We are a 100% free channel, so if I ask you, hey, subscribe, notifications, like a video here and there, I would appreciate it if you do it. I know there's a lot of other people who make Raiders content that, they charge money, and that's fine. They can charge money. That's just not going to be the route I go. But I know it's the 2022. We haven't missed a video here in basically, I don't know, since like 2019. Over 1,500 videos. You guys are going to be getting content every single day, draft, free agency, hopefully all the way to the Super Bowl. Let's go to Rashissimo Lock. I thought Andre James wasn't going to pan out, but damn, he actually has been playing good. What do you think? 100%. Andre James was one of the worst, if not the worst center in all of football the first 4 weeks. Then he started to get better and better and better, and now he's playing like a top 10 center. I mean, you're looking at your long-term center in Andre James, and some people this might hurt their feelings, but moving on from Rodney Hudson from a leadership standpoint, that really sucked, and he's always going to be one of my favorite Raiders of all time. But now when you see the way that Andre James has panned out, it was absolutely the right move to go ahead and do that. Now what's going to be interesting is this. How does Alex Leatherwood pan out? Because center is a good spot. I really think if you get a veteran right tackle to put next to Alex Leatherwood at right guard, that's also going to help him learn. But Rashissimo, you're 100% right, man. Andre James, great job. Let's go to my dude here, Mystic Rican. Have to text being I can't talk. Daughters made fun of me twice since I came back from Vegas. Absolutely worth the spontaneous trip to Vegas. Shout out to Section 433 for being loud and energetic. Just win, baby. All hail the coin. So it's funny. I actually talked to a Raiders player, and he was like, man, it was the most electric I've ever seen Allegiant Stadium be, and I definitely wish I could have been there, but shout out to everyone who went to the game. Shout out to everyone who was on my live stream. We had over 160,000 people watch. It was the most watched Raiders show on YouTube. It was literally the biggest watch party I've ever done in the history of the show. You guys were excited. You guys were being crazy diehards, and, that's what it's all about. All right, let's go to Barry Cordick. Raiders should hire Harbaugh. If they do, would they signify the end of Olsen? Greg Olsen will not come back next season. And if the Raiders do, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that it doesn't happen, because Greg Olsen, to me, his offensive mind is just, it's not there. His ability to make the right calls when it matters the most is not there. His red zone calling, it simply is not there. So, and Carr, not that he won't change up the play, but I do think Carr sometimes respects his coaches maybe too much, where he just goes along with the play call, which is what he did with Gruden. Sorry, it's not going to be Greg Olsen, man. It's not going to be him. Now, the Raiders are in the playoffs for the first time since 2016, and hopefully they can get their first playoff win since 2002. Now, I don't know about you. If the last time you bought a T-shirt was back in 2016, I know I wouldn't fit in a lot of the clothes that I wore back in 2016. So if you need a brand new Raiders T-shirt for the playoffs, go to chatsports.com/Raiders playoffs. We got these two shirts available. I know that they're already going very, very quickly, so if you see them, you want them, the link is in the comments. It's in the description, chatsports.com/Raiders playoffs. Let's go to Chucky D3, defensive or offensive minded head coach moving forward. I'm in the realm that I want an offensive-minded head coach. Now, this could change a little bit because you could convince me maybe to go with a defensive-minded dude. If then you're going to be like, all right, we're going to keep Derek Carr around, because Carr to me is almost like as a coach on the field. And if you're playing us to go defensive-minded, then you keep Derek Carr. If you're playing us to go offensive-minded, it might change it a little bit. But as far as I'm concerned, I want an offensive-minded head coach going forward, because that's the way that the league goes. Let's go to Mike's burner account. So a lot of mock drafts that had us taking Jameson Williams. Now that he tore his ACL, who's another wide receiver we can get? Yeah, unfortunately, in the national championship game, Jameson Williams went down with an ACL. Personally, I don't think Williams would have even got out of the top 15, and the Raiders obviously won't be picking in the top 15. He's an electric player, still could go in the first round, but some other wide receivers that I like, Chris Olave, big fan of Traylon Burks out of Arkansas. I'm trying to think of the other wide receiver from Drake London from USC. Who's the other guy from Ohio State? Jahan Dotson from Penn State, Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. So those are just a few of the other names that you can look at, but we'll see what the Raiders decide to do, because if they keep winning, man, the draft picks, they kind of change a little bit, because obviously they keep on, going up and up and up. So speaking of the draft, what is the Raiders' biggest offseason need? Is it right tackle? It's probably right tackle. Is it a defensive tackle? Is it linebacker, cornerback, safety, quarterback? I mean, I don't care what you guys want to go ahead and go with. I'm personally going to go ahead and say the biggest need for the Raiders this offseason is right tackle. Now, the more and more I watch some of these draft prospects, the more I think that, I kind of want to go with a veteran right tackle in free agency to help Alex Leatherwood grow into his role a little bit more. But curious what you guys have to say. What is the Raiders' biggest need as it stands right now? Let's go to Matteo. Appreciate it. Do you think Morrow will play? Well, Nicholas Morrow was activated, so he has been technically cleared to be able to play. And I actually don't have a great answer for you. So the Raiders, they practice on Thursday, and when I'm making this video is on Tuesday. If he's out there practicing, running around, he has a chance. But, I mean, as good as Divine Diablo has played, as good as Denzel Perriman has played, I'm going to let those two guys kind of run it out there on linebacker. KJ Wright's also stepped up. I mean, would you be willing to put in a guy when your defense has played as well as they have on a 4-game winning streak? I know Nicholas Morrow is the best coverage linebacker probably out of all those dudes, but if he's out there, I think it's going to be at least a limited fashion, but we're still got to wait to see how healthy he is. Let's go to Darian Schofield. What up, brother? Harbaugh head coach, Joe Brady OC, Brian Flores DC, Louis Riddick, or John Dorsey GM? I mean, that's the ultimate pipe dream there. I do personally think that Brian Flores will get another opportunity. Heck, I think he could be a head coach. I mean, I was shocked when the Dolphins decided to fire Flores, so that's not going to happen as DC. Joe Brady, I would be shocked if he goes to an OC person. I think he's going to go back to college football. And then Harbaugh as head coach, I think he's the betting favorite as it stands right now. Louis Riddick would also be my top GM candidate, but you got to spell his name right first, though. That's all I got to say, Darian Schofield. Now, I don't know about y'all. We get a lot of different questions, different comments coming up here on the show. So if you guys bleed silver and black, please go ahead and subscribe. And the last time that the Raiders won a playoff game was 2002. So let's play a little game here. We got 1,400 people watching live, and I want to know, what were you doing in 2002? Seriously, do you even know? I believe I would have been, 9 years old. It would have been my first year in Little League Baseball. That's realistically the only thing that I can remember. So producer Sam was 4 years old. I would have been 9. I guess probably I was coloring in some coloring books, maybe playing in the backyard, some football, probably playing Madden 2002, some Mario Kart. But let me know down in the comments, what were you doing in 2002? It could be a college that you were going to. Were you in high school? Were you playing a certain sport somewhere? Just genuinely curious. I think this question, is kind of fun concerning the fact this is the last time the Raiders won a playoff game. Now, we get a lot of questions during these shows, and I understand that. And unfortunately, I can't get to every single one of them, which is why my DMs are open on Instagram. So not only should you guys hit me up with your questions, it's also a good way to stay up to date on Raiders news. Been posting a lot of stuff on my Instagram stories, and once the offseason kicks in, I'm going to start doing some more IG lives as well. I don't have a voice to do 3-4 live shows every single week, or else I don't know sign language enough. I know the alphabet, that's about it, and I don't want to have to do an entire Raiders report in sign language. Let's go to Chev Silver Raider. Even if Coach Bisaccia doesn't stay on as a head coach, he certainly earned a stay in the organization. 100% agree, which is kind of what I said. I mean, if you want to say, all right, Bisaccia, I want to pay you as a head coach, I think they could actually pay him like $7-8 million, keep him as an assistant head coach, keep him as a special teams guy. My favorite thing that I hear around, Raider Nation on Twitter, on Instagram is, Mark Davis is broke. Mark Davis isn't broke. Even if you're the most broke owner in the National Football League, you wipe your butt with millions of dollars. So he's going to be fine. He just bought another team, the WNBA Las Vegas Aces. That guy does not hurting for money. And if he wanted to go ahead and give Bisaccia $8 million to stay on as a coordinator or to keep him as a glue guy, assistant head coach, he could do it. Let's go to Marcus Howard. Amazing season. DC clutches quarterback in the league. Clutches quarterback in the league? No, I'm not going to go that far because even though DC has missed tons of throws, the Raiders, when it really has come down to it, he's had a lot of game-winning drives this season. He's made some insane throws of late, led a lot of really clutch, drives down at the end. But to say that he's the clutchest quarterback in the league, I'm going to say no for the simple fact of if you were telling me right now, I got the 2-minute drill, I can have any quarterback in the league. I mean, I'm going to take Tom Brady. I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take the guys who I really truly believe are the better quarterback than DC. Though, if Carr had certain offenses that those guys have, I would be really curious to see how much different some of his numbers are. Let's go to Lovi Towler. Players will want better contracts next year. What is our best strategy for retaining players and drawing in talent next season? It's a really good question. So I think some of the best things that you're going to look at is the salary cap's going to go up. So right now it's, I believe, like $180 million. It's going to go up about $40 million next season with the new contracts that these NFL TV providers are going to get and whatnot. And then the fact that you can come to Vegas, no taxes, you're going to be able to make more money there. There's a lot of one-year deals that have been swirling out there. But in terms of what's going to draw in players, it's the talent that you already have. It's the fact that you are a young football team that's going to have a lot of money to spend. They're going to be top 6, I believe, in salary cap. And then there's going to be a lot of big-time positions to be able to open up. Plus, a lot of the guys who came in free agency had success right away with the Raiders. I'm talking about Casey Hayward, talking about Yannick Ngakoue, Denzel Perriman, KJ Wright. I mean, these guys have had some Solomon Thomas. If I was a player, I would absolutely plead for the Raiders. So that's some of the stuff that you can look at. But, yeah, you got to bring back some of those guys like Hayward. What up, King Higgins? Calvin Ridley, a possibility if we don't sign Adams or we don't draft a wide receiver. So Calvin Ridley was a receiver drafted, I believe, in the first round of the 2018 draft out of Alabama. I think it was even 26 overall. That's just a number for whatever reason popped in my head. He stepped away from football this season, and he's a really, really talented dude. I think he's a phenomenal receiver. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's an Alabama guy. We're going to stay away from them. That I'm not on board for. If Calvin Ridley wanted to be a Raider, I think he would fit great in this offense. And sure, Ridley is definitely going to have some potential. He's said that, he doesn't want to be an Atlanta Falcon anymore. But in terms of Davante Adams, if Derek Carr's on the team, and if the Packers don't franchise tag Adams, the number one top receiver that the Raiders are going to be targeting, and I really truly believe this, if Carr's the quarterback in 2022 and the Packers don't tag him, even if they do, I think Davante Adams is going to be in silver and black.